Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. You might be wondering, Kendra, why do you only have one eye look on, and why do you have an 80s reject bun in your hair? Well, today I am going to be doing a Venom look, but not just any Venom look. I'm going to be doing a look where it looks like Venom is taking over my body. So to get started, I think I'm going to start with the Instant Lift Brow Pencil by e.l.f. And I'm just going to start sketching out where I want everything to be as far as the mouth, the eye, and let's just get started. And if you're wondering why I'm looking over here, I do have a mirror with a light on it, just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit closer. So I'm going to start with the eye, and we're just going to sketch it out. And then we'll go down. Alrighty. Okay. And now the first thing that I want to try to draw in is I'm going to do some of the teeth. Make some very attractive faces. So I think that's how we're going to start, so that way we can make it look a little more curvy. And actually, I'm not 100% happy with this, but that's why we do the outline first. So that way we can make things look how we want it to look. Because mistakes happen and they're easy fixes. Okay. So now that I kind of have the rough idea of where I want the tongue to go, I'm going to... Okay. And now we got some teeth. So the next step is, okay, I'm going to use Mayron and the Snazaroo water activated paints for this look, mainly because they are pretty affordable. So I'm going to go in with these very beat up Mayron palettes. I'm going to use a lot of this deeper red, this brown, the almost gone Snazaroo white, and this brighter red from Mayron. And I'm going to make like a pinkish brownish kind of color, so that way it looks like a tongue. Oh, that looks a lot better. Just going to add a little more red to this to make it look a little more realistic. I'm blending those colors. We're going to be doing a lot of shading, a lot of blending, a lot of highlighting, and it'll really come together. So I'm not too worried about it right now. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually grab a smaller brush. I'm going to grab a little brush like this, and I'm going to go in with more of that brown shade. And what I'm going to do is just go along the edges and kind of make a little bit of a contour. Anybody else feel like Bob Ross when they're doing this, when they're painting themselves? Just me? Okay, cool. So what I want to do is, with this darker color, I want to create, do you see how that's creating kind of a shadow? So it looks kind of like a fold, how the tongue is moving along. I like that. Yes, that's nice. Okay. So I'm just continuing to go in and blend that so that way it looks a little more 3D, a little more dimensional. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to be taking this, it's a Real Technique sponge. You could use any sort of makeup applicator sponge or anything like that, and then just like rip holes in the bottom of it. This is just to give texture. So this one is a Real Technique sponge. It's just a little bit ripped up. So what I'm going to do is take some of the white, just the plain white, and go in and kind of mix that in with the mixture we already have, and just kind of pounce. Do you see how that's creating texture like a tongue would have? Because if you look at a tongue, it definitely has added texture to it. So we want to create that using a textured tool. So there's that. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go in using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. It's very dirty, very loved. And I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush. This is the Morphe E27, but it's a big fluffy brush. I don't know if you can see that very well. But I'm going to go in with the red shade right here. It's like a deep burgundy, and then a little bit of the black just to really define those edges and the curves and the red blend through those edges. And just adding texture here and there where I see fit. And also, once we add the rest of the color to the portions around the tongue, this part will really stand out and really pop and really look nice. So I'm also going to be going in with a smaller detailed brush to get the portions around the teeth, because you really want to like get that dimension around the teeth area, because if your teeth are coming up over the tongue, they're definitely going to create shadows where they are sitting up above the tongue. So I'm going to go in with a little teeny tiny brush with some of that black and red mix and really get around those teeth and get like a nice little point going. You guys, to be honest, I have tried to film this look like 8 times, and it has been unreal. So if you're seeing this, that means something went right. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, oh, look at this YouTuber status, very teeny tiny brush, and I'm going to go in with our white paint. And this is my favorite part, like my absolute favorite part, is creating the drooly effects. Because it's a tongue, it's gonna have drool. So I'm just gonna go in and put drool kind of where the light would be naturally hitting the tongue. Okay, so we're going to start with that for now. Now, go back in with that white. And I'm going to start filling in the teeth. And it's okay if the white blends with the brown outline that we created earlier, because we're going to go in with like a brownish shadow to make the teeth look more dimensional. I have to shout out my friend Toya, who has been telling me for years I need to do videos and start a channel. And this Halloween, like this month of October, it's been one person after another telling me to get my butt on YouTube. So here we are. And just going back over the teeth a little bit, just to make them a little more opaque, so it'll really hold the shadow nicely. I have the greatest faces, don't you guys agree? So what's new? What's exciting in your world, guys? Let me know. Also, if you want to see the glam side of this look, meaning this portion, I am going to be doing a look on that later this week. Okay, so now that we have our teeth drawn in, I'm going to go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to be going into, I think, this brownish shade. It's like a cooler tone brown, and we're going to be shading each tooth to give it some added dimension and kind of grime it up a little. Okay, now we have some color around our teeth. So now what I'm going to do is go into the Mayron palette and use this darker red, this darker red shade right here, and I'm going to be creating the inner portion of the mouth. So right around there. And I'm going to go kind of close to the teeth, but not all the way up into the teeth, because we're going to go back in with black liner, I think black liner I'm going to go with, and the black body paint, and go in between each tooth to give it more dimension and blend it into this red. So that way it kind of looks more dimensional. All right, we have a mouth. So now what we're going to do, this is so exciting, you guys, is we are going to take that really tiny detailed brush again, and we're going to go into our black face paint, and we're going to go up and connect the teeth area to that red. Just to give it a bunch more dimension. And I do like to dab that down with my finger, just because it kind of blends it a little easier. Okay, now we have teeth outlined. So now what I'm going to do is go in with a pencil brush, a really tapered brush, and go in with the black shadow and really start getting into these areas that need to be blended inward. You see how that just adds a bunch of dimension? Okay. So now that that's all done, I'm going to go back in with our teeny tiny little brush again. I use this brush a lot for detail work. It is awesome because it's so small. It's just great. Okay, so now I'm going to add the fun part. We're going to add the drooly texture. Because it's Venom. He's got to have a lot of drool. Add a little bit of that drooly texture right along the gum line there. And over here too. Just drool it up, man. Okay, now that that's done, I want to move on to the eye. And I am actually going to be going back over everything with a second coat, just to make it a little more opaque and a little brighter. But the second coat, I'm really going in with a light hand so I don't pull up any of the paint that's already been laid down. The moment we've all been waiting for. It is time to get our black paint and outline everything. Absolutely everything. All right, so now I'm going to take this big foundation brush. I'm going to get it a little bit wet, swirl it around, and really get in there. That's the look, guys. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.